One of the things I really would love to talk to you about, what cognitive distortions are. Like, it's not really a term that we throw around a lot, but I think when you start to explaining a little bit more about kind of cognitive distortions, errors in thinking, people will start to go, oh yes, I do that too. So could you tell us a little bit more about some of the different types of that?
Absolutely. So cognitive distortions, to put it simply, are errors in thinking. So basically, it's a wrong way of thinking that makes you suffer. And there are 10 in total. A few examples are, for instance, black and white thinking. So black and white thinking basically means you either see things as good or bad. I either succeed or fail. It's either this or that, you know? And this is a child's thinking. You know, when you watch cartoons, it's like, oh, the good guy and the bad guy, you know? And like, this is how children think. It's either good or bad. As an adult, you need to develop this complexity and to see nuances in people in different situations, because no one is good or bad. No situation is good or bad. It's always gray. There are always so many nuances to everything. Things are so complex. People are extremely complex. It's so simplistic and just out of touch with reality to say, oh, that person is good or that person is bad. Or, oh, this was a success or this was a failure. And it's important to develop this complexity. Another cognitive distortion is overgeneralization. So saying things like, oh, all men are pigs, all women are gold diggers, you know, putting these labels on certain categories of people. Again, extremely simplistic. And it's so detrimental to your relationships, because if you come with all these filters, because this is what cognitive distortions are really, they're filters, mental filters that don't allow you to see reality as it is. You know, it's like, if I have these preconceptions, these beliefs about how things are, you know, even when I meet a good guy or a good girl, I think, yeah, but actually, you know, they're a guy, they must be like this, or they're a girl, they must be like this, because you had a previous experience in your childhood, or, you know, you got cheated on once and now you think everyone is going to cheat on you, stuff like that. And it just makes you suffer. Another one is personalization. So for instance, personalization is quite a little bit of a narcissistic trait. A lot of people have it, so don't worry if you have it. Most of us do. You think what the other person says, what the other person does, it's about you. It has to do with you. In psychology, we call this the spotlight effect. Like, you think people are watching you, or, you know, everyone cares about what you're doing, when in reality, no one gives an F about what you're doing. Everyone cares about their own business. And yeah, it's important to realize people don't really care. Another cognitive distortion is catastrophizing. So this is saying things like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out about this exam because if I fail, I'm gonna be kicked out of uni. And if I do this, I'm gonna be homeless and I'm gonna die. And like, you catastrophize. You see the worst possible outcome in every situation. You're just giving yourself unnecessary anxiety. Some people say, oh no, I'm just preparing for, you know, like a plan B or the worst possible outcome, or I'm being realistic, but you're not being realistic. That's not being realistic. Realistic is seeing what could go wrong and having a plan B, which is good, but also seeing what could go right and kind of having that neutral energy and mindset when you go through things, knowing, okay, even if the worst things happen, like, I can handle it and it's okay, but the best thing could happen. So yeah, there are a bunch more. But
so many.
There are so many things. They're really interesting. You can look them up online too. Like, the listeners that are interested in this, they can look them up online. It's a technique that a lot of psychologists use. It's really powerful. And you can apply it by, for instance, journaling and just noticing, okay, when are they coming up? When am I using a cognitive distortion? Like, for instance, am I overgeneralizing right now, or am I catastrophizing? And kind of questioning things as well. So when you're noticing that, for instance, I'm overgeneralizing, all men are a certain way, asking myself, are all men really like this? Could there be an exception? Do I know any men that are not like this? So kind of like having this little logical debate with yourself could be really, really useful.